shouldn't have stopped the car. That's the part that keeps replaying in my head, not the scream. Not what I saw in the rearview mirror. Not even the police report that came later. Just that moment. The exact second I decided to slow down. It was 2:17 a.m. when I first saw her. I remember the time because I checked it right before everything happened. I had been driving for hours, cutting through a stretch of empty roads somewhere in Northern California. No streetlights, no houses. Just trees pressing in from both sides like they were trying to swallow the road whole. And then she appeared, standing there, right in the middle of the lane. At first I thought it was a trick of the headlights, some reflection, maybe a sign or a torn piece of fabric caught in the wind. But as I got closer, she didn't move. She just stood there, wearing white, not just any wedding dress. I didn't hit the brakes immediately. That's the part one hate admitting. I slowed down, sure, but there was this strange hesitation in me, like my body didn't fully understand what I was looking at. A bride, in the middle of nowhere, at 2 in the morning. When I finally came to a stop, she was maybe 10 feet away from my car. Her head was tilted slightly to one side, like she was studying me. Her hair, dark, long, messy, was stuck to her face, like it had been wet and then left to dry in the cold air. I remember thinking she must have been in an accident, or maybe she ran from something. That's what I told myself. That's why I rolled the window down. Are you okay? She didn't answer. She didn't blink. She just stared. And then, very slowly, she started walking toward the car. Not running, not limping, just walking. Each step felt wrong. Not in a way I could explain at the time, but now, thinking back, it was like her body didn't fully understand how walking was supposed to work. Like something was imitating a human being. I should have driven away. I know that now. But instead, I unlocked the door. I don't even remember deciding to do it. It just happened. By the time she reached the passenger side, my heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. She stopped right next to the door. And for the first time, I noticed her face clearly. Her skin was pale. Too pale. Not just cold pale, but drained, like there was nothing underneath it. Her lips were slightly parted, and there was something dark at the corner of her mouth. Not blood exactly. Something. Older. She leaned down slightly, trying to look inside. And that's when she spoke. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "Can you take me home?" I swallowed. Yeah, of course. Where do you live?" There was a pause. A long one. Then she said, "I don't remember. That should have been enough." That should have been the moment I locked the doors and drove away. But I didn't, because when she lifted her head slightly, I saw something behind her, far down the road. Lights. Another car. And for just a second I felt relieved, like I wasn't alone anymore. But then she turned her head toward those lights too, and her expression changed. Not fear, not relief, recognition. And that's when she whispered something I didn't understand at the time. He found me again. Before I could ask what she meant, she grabbed the door handle, and that's when I saw it. Her hand. It wasn't just pale, it was damaged. The fingers bent slightly in the wrong direction, like they had been broken and never set properly. And her nails, God, they were filled with dirt, like she had been clawing at something, or trying to get out. I froze, completely. And in that moment, the lights behind us got closer. Too fast, way too fast. I turned to look. And when I turned back, she was gone, just gone. The passenger door was still closed, locked, but she wasn't there anymore. No footsteps, no sound, nothing, just empty road. And those headlights now right behind me, blinding. I remember gripping the steering wheel so hard my hands started shaking. The car behind me honked. Once, twice. Long, aggressive, like I was blocking the road. I hit the gas, didn't look back, didn't stop driving until I reached the next town. And I told myself, over and over again, that what I saw wasn't real, that it was exhaustion, that my mind was playing tricks on me. But that was before I checked the news the next morning, before I saw her face, before I learned what happened on that road 3 months earlier. I didn't go looking for the story. That's important, because if I had searched for it, if I had typed anything about a bride on a highway or someone disappearing in a wedding dress, then maybe I could have convinced myself that what I saw that night was just my brain filling in details. But I didn't. The story found me. It was the next morning. I hadn't slept more than an hour. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her again, standing in the road, head tilted, staring like she already knew me. I ended up in a small diner just outside the town I'd stopped in. The kind of place where everything smells like burnt coffee and grease that's been used too many times. I wasn't even hungry. I just needed to be around people. Something normal. Something alive. I ordered coffee, sat in a booth near the window, and tried not to think about it. That's when I saw the newspaper. It wasn't even in front of me at first. It was on the counter, a few seats down, folded open like someone had just been reading it and left in a hurry. I don't know what made me look, but I did. And I wish I hadn't, because the second I saw the photo, my stomach dropped. It was her, no doubt about it. Same face, same eyes, same dark hair, but in the photo she was smiling. Alive. The headline read, "Bride killed in late-night crash hours after wedding reception." My hand started shaking before I even realized it. I got up, walked over to the counter, and picked up the paper like it might disappear if I waited too long. The article was short. Too short. Like whoever wrote it didn't want to go into details. It said her name was Emily Carter, 27 years old. The wedding had taken place at a private venue about 20 miles from where I saw her. Reception ended late. She left alone. That part was underlined in pen. She left alone. No explanation why. No mention of her husband. Just that she got into her car sometime after midnight and started driving. At approximately 1:43 a.m., her vehicle was found off the side of Old Redwood Highway. Driver's side completely crushed. No signs of another vehicle. No witnesses. And then one line that didn't sit right with me. Authorities reported inconsistencies at the scene, but have not released further details. Inconsistencies. That word stuck with me. I must have read the article 5 times. 6. I don't even remember. But I couldn't stop staring at the photo. Because even though it was clearly taken during the day-bright, warm, full of life, something about her expression felt off. Like the smile didn't fully reach her eyes. Like she was posing. Not happy. Just performing. Rough story. The voice made me flinch. I looked up. The waitress was standing there holding a coffee pot. She nodded toward the newspaper in my hands. "People around here still talk about it," she said. I tried to sound casual. "Yeah, what happened?" She hesitated. Not the kind of hesitation where someone's trying to remember something. The kind where they're deciding whether they should say anything at all. "They said it was an accident," she finally said, but what?" She leaned in slightly, lowered her voice. Some of the first responders didn't agree. A cold feeling ran down my spine. "What do you mean?" She glanced around the diner like someone might be listening. "Car didn't look right," she said. "Damage didn't match how it was found," and she stopped. "And what?" I pushed, even though part of me didn't want the answer. Her eyes flicked back to the paper. To her. I felt my grip tighten. "What about her?" Another pause. Then, quietly, "They said her body wasn't where it should have been." I didn't understand. "What does that mean?" The waitress straightened up quickly, like she'd already said too much. "Look," she muttered, pouring more coffee into my cup even though it was still full. "Small towns. People talk. Doesn't mean it's true." But it didn't feel like gossip. It felt like something unfinished. Something that didn't make sense. I waited until she walked away before looking back down at the article. That's when I noticed something I hadn't seen before. There was a second photo. Smaller, taken at the crash site. Most of it was just dark mysteries, road, the outline of a wrecked car. But in the background, barely visible, there was a figure standing near the edge of the road. Blurry. Out of focus, but unmistakable. A woman in white. My chest tightened, because I knew that spot. I had been there, just hours ago. That same stretch of road, same trees, same emptiness. And suddenly, something she said the night before came rushing back into my mind. He found me again. I folded the newspaper slowly, carefully, like I was afraid it might fall apart in my hands. And for the first time since it all started, I felt something worse than fear. I felt pulled. Like whatever happened to her that night wasn't over. I didn't plan to keep digging. After the diner, I told myself I'd drop it, finish my trip, go home, forget the whole thing. That lasted maybe 3 hours. Because once you see something like that, once it gets in your head, it doesn't just sit there quietly. It starts asking questions. And the worst part is, it doesn't ask them all at once, just one at a time. Slow, persistent. Enough that you start answering them without realizing it. By early afternoon, I was back in my car, driving the same road, back toward where I saw her. I told myself I just wanted to confirm things, maybe see the crash site, make it real, make it make sense. But that wasn't the truth. The truth is, something about her, about the way she looked at me, felt unfinished. like a conversation that had been interrupted, and somehow, I was part of it now. I didn't go straight to the crash site. Instead, I stopped in a nearby town first. Small place, quiet, the kind where people notice when a car they don't recognize drives through. It didn't take much asking before someone pointed me toward the wedding venue. Up the hill, past the old vineyard, a man at a gas station told me, "Place has been empty since." You know, he didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. The venue was gated. Of course it was. Tall iron bars, locked tight, with a long driveway stretching up toward a building I could barely see through the trees. But the gate wasn't what caught my attention. It was what was tied to it. Ribbons, dozens of them, white. Some clean, some dirty, some torn. They moved slightly in the wind, brushing against each other with a soft, dry sound. At first I thought they were decorations left over from the wedding. But when I stepped closer, I realized they weren't tied neatly, they were knotted, tight, messy, like they had been pulled hard before being secured, and mixed in with the ribbons were strips of fabric, not all of them white. Some were darker, stained. I felt a knot form in my stomach. This wasn't decoration. This was something else, something people did after. I reached out without really thinking and touched one of the ribbons. It was rough, weathered. It had been there a while. People leave those. The voice came from behind me. I turned quickly. An older man stood a few feet away, hands in his jacket pockets. He didn't look surprised to see me, just tired. After the accident, he continued, nodding toward the gate. Started with flowers, then candles. Those didn't last long. His eyes moved to the ribbons. These do. I hesitated before asking, "Did you know her?" He shrugged slightly. Small town. You don't need to know someone personally to feel it when something's wrong. That word again? Wrong. What do you mean? He didn't answer right away. Instead, he walked closer to the gate, reached out, and lightly touched one of the knots. She didn't want to get married. The statement was quiet. Matter of fact, but it hit harder than anything I'd heard so far. I frowned. The article said what it was supposed to say, he cut in. Not what actually happened. A chill ran through me. What actually happened? The man let out a slow breath. 2 days before the wedding, he said, she came down into town, alone. Walked into the sheriff's office. I felt my chest tighten. Why? She wanted to file something, he said. Didn't get the chance. What do you mean, didn't get the chance? He glanced at me. For the first time, really looked at me. Like he was trying to decide if I should hear the rest. Because, he said slowly, she couldn't explain it. That didn't make sense. Explain what? He shook his head. That's the problem. Every time she tried, she'd stop. Stop how? He mimicked someone opening their mouth, then hesitating. Like the words just wouldn't come out right. Like saying it out loud would make it real. A strange pressure built in my ears. I didn't like where this was going. So what did she do? I asked. She left, he said, walked out, got in her car, drove back up here. And that was it? No, he replied quietly. That was the first time. I swallowed. The first time for what? The man looked past me, toward the road. The same road I had driven the night before. The first time someone saw her walking, he said. A cold wave passed through me. Walking where? Out there, he nodded, on the highway, late at night. Same dress. My heart started beating faster. That doesn't make any sense, I said quickly. She wasn't even married yet. I know, he replied. Silence stretched between us, uncomfortable, heavy. Then I asked the question I wasn't sure I wanted answered. Who was she afraid of? The man didn't respond immediately. Instead, he looked back at the gate, at the ribbons, at the tangled knots. And when he finally spoke, his voice was lower, more certain. She never said it clearly, he admitted. But the way she acted, the way she kept looking over her shoulder. He paused, then added, it wasn't someone. I felt my stomach drop. What do you mean? He turned back to me, and for a second, there was something in his expression I hadn't seen before. Not curiosity, not concern, recognition. Kid, he said quietly. She wasn't trying to get away from a person. A gust of wind moved through the trees, making the ribbons shift and whisper against each other. And then he finished the sentence. She was trying to get away from something that was already with her. I didn't say anything after that. I couldn't. Because for the first time since this started, I wasn't just thinking about what happened to her. I was thinking about what she said to me. He found me again. I left the gate without saying goodbye. The man didn't try to stop me. Didn't ask questions. Didn't even look surprised. It was like he already knew how this part goes. People hear just enough, and then they go looking for the rest. I didn't head back to the highway right away. Instead, I drove into town again, slower this time, paying attention. Because once you start noticing things, you really notice them. And something about this place felt off. Not abandoned, not broken, just quiet in a way that didn't feel natural. Like people were choosing not to talk. The sheriff's office was exactly where the man said it would be. Small building, faded sign, 2 parked cars outside. I sat in mine for a minute before going in, thinking about turning around, thinking about letting it go. But that feeling came back. That same pull. So I went inside. The woman at the front desk didn't smile. Didn't ask how she could help. She just looked at me and waited. "I'm not from around here," I said. "I was just passing through and I heard about the accident." The bride. No reaction. Not even a blink. I was wondering if anyone here spoke to her before it happened. A pause. Then, why? The question was flat, direct, and I didn't have a good answer. I hesitated. I think I might have seen something. That got her attention. Not a lot, but enough. What kind of something? I almost told her. About the road, about the dress, about what she said to me. But something stopped me. Instinct, maybe? Or fear of how it would sound. So I changed it. "I was near the highway last night," I said. "Thought I saw someone. Just wanted to know if there were reports before the crash." The woman studied me for a few seconds. Then she stood up. "Wait here." She disappeared through a door behind the desk. And for a moment, I was alone. Completely. The station was quiet. Too quiet. No phones ringing. No movement. Just the faint hum of fluorescent lights overhead. I started to wonder if I'd made a mistake coming here. That's when I noticed the board, pinned to the wall beside the hallway. Photos, notes, printed emails. At first glance, it looked like any small-town caseboard. But when I stepped closer, I realized it was all about her, Emily. Different pictures this time. Not the wedding photo. These were older, more candid. In one, she was sitting at a cafe, looking off to the side, not smiling. In another, she was walking out of a store, head slightly lowered. And then a printed message, highlighted. I leaned in to read it. It looked like a text conversation. The contact name was blurred out, but her messages were clear. Do you ever feel like something is watching you, even when you're alone? A gap, then another message. Not like anxiety, not like paranoia, something else. Another gap, longer this time. Then, it doesn't follow me all the time. Only at night. I felt my chest tighten. I kept reading. I hear it first. Footsteps. Not behind me, not in front, just close. And when I turn around, there's nothing there. I swallowed. Hard. But last night, that line had been underlined. Twice. Last night I saw it. A cold sensation spread through my arms. The next message was shorter, simpler, and somehow worse. It looks like someone I know. I stepped back without realizing it, my mind trying to catch up, trying to fit it into something logical. Stress, cold feet, pre-wedding anxiety. That's what this was supposed to be. That's what it should have been. But it didn't feel like that. It felt specific, too specific. "Did you touch anything?" The voice snapped me out of it. I turned. The woman was back, standing closer than I expected, watching me. "No," I said quickly. She didn't look convinced, but she didn't push it. Instead, she walked over, pulled the paper off the board, and held it in her hand. "You shouldn't read things out of context," she said. "What context makes that normal?" I asked. She didn't answer directly. "She came in about a month before the wedding," she said instead. Said she felt unsafe. "With someone?" A slight pause. Then, she didn't say, but she thought it was someone she knew. Another pause, longer this time. Then the woman shook her head. "Not exactly." I frowned. "What does that mean?" The woman looked down at the paper in her hand, at the messages, then back at me. And when she spoke again, her voice was quieter, less guarded. She said, she began slowly, that it didn't just look like someone she knew. A beat. Then, it became them. Something shifted in my chest, a heavy, sinking feeling. "What do you mean, became?" She couldn't explain it clearly, the woman said, but she kept repeating the same thing. I felt my pulse quicken. "What thing?" The woman held my gaze and repeated it exactly, word for word. "It waits until I look away." The room felt smaller, tighter, like the walls had moved just a little closer. And when I looked back, the woman continued quietly, "It's closer. I didn't realize I had taken a step back until I felt the wall behind me. My breathing had changed. Shallow, uneven, because without meaning to, I remembered something. Something small, something I hadn't paid attention to at the time, last night. On the road, when I looked away, just for a second, at the headlights behind me, and then looked back. She wasn't 10 feet away anymore. She was closer. He found me again. "Sir." The woman's voice cut through my thoughts. Sharp. Focused. "You said you saw something last night." I hesitated. This time I couldn't brush it off. Couldn't twist it into something harmless. Because now, it was lining up. Too. "Well, what exactly did you see?" I opened my mouth, ready to answer. Finally. Honestly. But then something stopped me. Not fear, not doubt. Something else. A feeling. Subtle, but unmistakable. Like I wasn't alone anymore. Not in the station. Not in that room. Slowly, without thinking, I turned my head toward the glass door behind me. And for just a second, in the reflection, I thought I saw someone standing outside, watching. I didn't turn around right away. That's the part that bothers me now. Because if someone tells you they see something in a reflection, something that shouldn't be there, you expect them to spin around immediately to confirm it, to prove it wrong. But I didn't. I just stood there, staring at the glass, trying to understand what I was seeing, or what I thought I was seeing. The reflection wasn't clear. The sun outside was too bright, washing everything out. But there was definitely a shape, a figure, standing still, too still, sir. The woman's voice snapped me out of it again. I blinked, and when I looked back at the door, there was nothing there, just empty pavement. I forced out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. "Nothing," I muttered. "I thought I saw someone." She didn't respond. Didn't ask who. Didn't even look at the door. Instead, she studied me for a moment longer, then turned and walked back behind the desk. "Wait here," she said again. This time it took longer. Long enough that I started thinking about leaving, about getting in my car and driving as far away from this place as possible. But I stayed, because now there was something else, something new, that feeling from before. It hadn't gone away. If anything, it had settled in. When she came back, she wasn't alone. A man followed her out, late 40s, maybe early 50s, sheriff judging by the badge. He didn't look annoyed or suspicious, just tired, like he hadn't slept properly in a long time. "You're the one asking about Emily Carter," he said. Not a question. I nodded. "I'm just trying to understand what happened." He gave a small, humorless smile. "Yeah," he said. "So was she." That caught me off guard. "What do you mean?" He gestured toward a chair. "Sit." I did. The room felt heavier now, quieter, the kind of silence that makes every small sound stand out too clearly. The sheriff leaned against the desk, arms crossed. "She came in twice," he said. "First time, about a month before the wedding. You already heard about that." I nodded. "She didn't file anything," he continued. "Couldn't explain what she was afraid of." "And the second time?" He hesitated. 2 days before the crash. My chest tightened. "What happened then?" The sheriff glanced briefly at the woman behind the desk, then back at me. This time, she brought someone with her. Something about the way he said it made my stomach drop. "Her fiancé?" I asked. A pause. Then he shook his head. "No." That didn't make sense. "Then who?" Another pause. Longer. Deliberate. "Then, she said it was him." I frowned. "I don't understand." "She walked in," the sheriff said slowly, holding onto his arm like she was afraid he might disappear. "Said she wanted us to talk to him. Confirm something." "Confirm what?" His expression tightened slightly. "That he was real." "And the second time?" He hesitated. 2 days before the crash. My chest tightened. "What happened then?" The sheriff glanced briefly at the woman behind the desk, then back at me. This time, she brought someone with her. Something about the way he said it made my stomach drop. "Her fiancé?" I asked. A pause. Then he shook his head. "No." That didn't make sense. "Then who?" Another pause. Longer. Deliberate. "Then, she said it was him." I frowned. "I don't understand." "She walked in," the sheriff said slowly, holding onto his arm like she was afraid he might disappear. "Said she wanted us to talk to him. Confirm something." "Confirm what?" His expression tightened slightly. "That he was real." A cold silence settled over the room. I felt my fingers go numb. What does that mean?" The sheriff exhaled slowly. "It means she wasn't sure anymore," he said. Said he'd been acting different. Said sometimes he didn't feel like himself. I swallowed. And what did he say? The sheriff's eyes locked onto mine. He said he had no idea what she was talking about. I shifted in my chair, trying to piece it together. Did he seem normal? Another one of those pauses. Then, he seemed exactly how you'd expect, the sheriff said. Calm, confused, concerned. That should have been reassuring, but it wasn't. Should have been? I repeated. The sheriff nodded slightly, because she didn't react to him like that. A faint pressure built in my chest. How did she react? He leaned forward just a little, lowering his voice, like she was waiting for something to slip. That word again? Slip. She kept watching him. He continued, not talking much, just observing every movement, every word. And then the sheriff said, something happened. I leaned in without realizing it. What? The sheriff didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked toward the front door, the same door I'd been staring at earlier, then back at me. She asked him a question, he said. Something simple. What kind of question? Personal, he replied. Something only he would know. My pulse picked up. What was it? The sheriff shook his head. Doesn't matter. It does if it explains what happened. Another pause. Then, reluctantly, she asked him where they first met. That seemed normal. So he answered, the sheriff said. And the sheriff's jaw tightened. He got it wrong. A chill spread through me. What do you mean, wrong? I mean, he said flatly. He described a place they'd never been. The room felt colder. He let that sink in before continuing. She didn't react right away, he said. Just stared at him. And then she started crying. A knot formed in my throat. Crying. How? Not loud, he said, not hysterical. Just quiet. Like something inside her had just confirmed what she already knew. I didn't want to ask the next question, but I did anyway. What did she say? The sheriff's voice dropped even lower. She said, he hesitated, then finished. You're not him anymore. I felt my stomach turn. And what did he do? Nothing, the sheriff said. That's what made it worse. What do you mean? He didn't argue? Didn't get angry? Didn't defend himself? A beat. He just watched her. Silence filled the room again. Thick, heavy. I struggled to keep my thoughts straight. This doesn't make sense, I said. If something was wrong with him, why didn't anyone? Because we didn't see it, the sheriff cut in. His tone was sharper now. More certain. We talked to him and ran back around, checked everything. There was nothing there, but she saw something. He nodded slowly. Yeah, he said. She did. I leaned back in the chair, trying to process it, trying to keep it grounded in something real. So what happened after that? The sheriff straightened up. She left. Alone? A pause. Then, no. My chest tightened. He followed her out. The word followed hung in the air. Wrong. It should have been went with her, but it wasn't. They drove back up toward the venue, the sheriff continued. That's the last time anyone saw her before the wedding. In him? I asked. The sheriff's expression didn't change. That's where it gets complicated. A quiet dread settled in my stomach. Why? Because I already knew. I wasn't going to like the answer. The sheriff looked at me carefully, measuring his words. According to him, he said, he never left the house that night. I stared at him. That's impossible. Yeah, the sheriff replied softly. That's what we said. Silence again, longer this time. Because now, there was only one question left. The one neither of us wanted to say out loud. If he didn't go with her, I started. Slowly, carefully. Then who did? The sheriff didn't answer. Not right away. Instead, his eyes drifted just slightly, past me, toward the glass door again. And something in his expression changed. Not fear, not surprise. Something worse. Recognition. You said you saw something on the road last night, he said quietly. My throat went dry. Yeah. He held my gaze. Unblinking. Did it look like someone you knew? I didn't answer. Because suddenly, I wasn't thinking about the bride anymore. I was thinking about her face. The way she looked at me, like she had seen me before. I didn't answer him. Not right away. Because the question didn't just sit in the room. It stayed there. Like it was waiting. Did it look like someone you knew? I opened my mouth, closed it again, because the truth was, I wasn't sure anymore. At the time on the road, I didn't recognize her. She was just a stranger, a bride in the dark. But now, after the photo, after the messages, after hearing everything that didn't make sense, something about her face felt familiar in a way I couldn't explain. Like I hadn't recognized her, but she had recognized me. I don't know, I finally said. The sheriff held my gaze a second longer, like he was trying to decide if that answer was enough. Then he nodded. All right? But it didn't feel like he believed me. I left the station not long after that. The sun was still out. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Cars passing. People walking. A dog barking somewhere in the distance. And yet, that feeling stayed with me, like I had stepped into something that didn't fully belong to me, but wasn't going to let me leave either. I should have driven away. I know that. I say that now like it was an option, like it was a choice I made. But the truth is, by that point I wasn't choosing anything anymore. I was just following it. The venue looked different in daylight, less threatening. Just a building on a hill, surrounded by trees. Quiet. Still. Empty. The gate was still locked. The ribbon still tied, moving slightly in the wind. But this time, I didn't stop there. There's a path, narrow, runs along the side of the fence, easy to miss if you're not looking for it. I don't know how I noticed it or why I thought to follow it, but I did. It took maybe 5 minutes before I found a break in the fence. Not cut, not forced, just open, like it had been that way for a while, long enough that the edges had started to rust. I stood there for a second, looking in, listening. Nothing. No movement, no sound, just the wind moving through the trees. And then I stepped inside. The closer I got to the building, the quieter everything felt. Not silent, just muted, like the world had been turned down slightly. The front doors were unlocked. Of course they were. Inside, the air felt stale. Not rotten, not decayed, just untouched, like no one had been there in a long time, even though I knew that wasn't true. The main hall was still decorated. That's what hit me first. Chairs lined up, flowers dried now, brittle, white fabric draped across the ceiling. Everything exactly how it must have been on the wedding day, except for one thing. There was no sense of celebration left, just the outline of it, like something had been removed or taken. I walked slowly, carefully, every step echoing just a little too much. At the front of the hall, there was an arch where they would have stood, where they would have said their vows. And beneath it, there was something on the floor. At first, I thought it was just part of the decoration, more fabric. But when I got closer, I saw the color. Darker, stained, not fresh. Old. I stopped walking. Didn't go any closer. Didn't need to. Because even from a distance, I knew what it was. There was a sound behind me. Soft. Barely there, like something brushing against the floor. I turned. Nothing. Just rows of empty chairs. Still. Unmoving. I told myself it was the wind. A draft. Something shifting. But that explanation didn't stick. Not here. Not in that room. I turned back toward the arch, and that's when I saw it. The aisle. It looked wrong. Subtle. Easy to miss if you weren't paying attention. But I was. Now I was paying attention to everything. The fabric laid across the floor. It wasn't flat. It was slightly disturbed, like something had been dragged across it. From the entrance, all the way to the front. A line. Faint. But continuous. I felt my throat tighten. Because it wasn't random. It wasn't messy. It followed the aisle perfectly, like something had been pulled, or had walked, but not correctly. Another sound. Closer this time. I turned again. Faster. Still nothing. But this time, I didn't feel alone. The air had changed, just slightly, like someone else had entered the room without making a sound. I took a step back, then another, my eyes scanning the chairs, the corners, the doorway. And then I noticed something that made my stomach drop. One of the chairs, near the middle row, wasn't facing forward anymore. It was turned, facing me. I froze, because I hadn't heard it move, hadn't seen it move. But I knew it hadn't been like that before. Slowly, without thinking, my eyes shifted upward, toward the far end of the room, and for just a second, I saw her, standing beneath the arch. The dress, the hair, the same slight tilt of her head, watching me. I couldn't breathe, couldn't move, couldn't even think. And then she was gone. Not faded, not hidden, just gone. The room snapped back into stillness, like nothing had happened, like I had imagined it, but I hadn't. Because now, there was something else, on the floor, right where she had been standing, something that hadn't been there before. A phone, cracked screen, dirt along the edges. I stared at it, heart pounding, every instinct telling me not to go near it. But I did. Of course I did. I crouched down slowly, reached out, picked it up. The screen flickered, dim, barely working, but it turned on. And there, on the lock screen, was a notification, a message. No contact name, no number, just text. You looked away. My blood ran cold, because I knew exactly what that meant. My hand started shaking as the screen flickered again. Another message appeared. I'm closer now. I dropped the phone, and behind me, I heard it. A single step, right in the middle of the aisle. I didn't answer him, not because I didn't want to, but because something about the question didn't feel like it was meant to be answered out loud. Did it look like someone you knew? The sheriff was still watching me when I finally said, I don't think so. But even as the words left my mouth, I knew they weren't entirely true. Because recognition doesn't always come from memory. Sometimes it comes from something deeper, something instinctive. I left the station a few minutes later, and I should have driven away. Anyone would have. But by that point, I wasn't thinking like that anymore. I wasn't thinking in terms of leaving, only in terms of finishing. The drive back to the venue felt shorter this time, or maybe I just don't remember it, because my mind kept replaying the same fragments over and over. It waits until I look away. He found me again. You're not him anymore. And the worst one, I'm closer now. The gate was still there, still locked, still covered in those twisted white ribbons. But this time, I didn't even slow down. I found the path again without trying. Like I already knew where it was, like something in me had memorized it. The break in the fence was exactly the same, unchanged, waiting. When I stepped through, the air felt different. Not colder, not warmer, just heavier, like walking into a room where someone had just been arguing. You don't hear it, but you feel it. The building stood silent at the top of the hill, windows dark, doors slightly open. And for a moment, just a moment, I thought I saw movement inside, a shadow shifting behind the glass. But when I blinked, it was gone. I pushed the door open, slowly, carefully. The hinges didn't creak, which somehow made it worse. Inside, everything was exactly as it had been left. Chairs aligned, decorations hanging, tables untouched. It looked like the wedding had ended mid-moment, like people had just stopped. And then I noticed something new. There were footprints, faint, scattered, pressed into the thin layer of dust across the floor. At first I thought they were mine, from earlier, but they weren't. They were smaller, barefoot, and they didn't lead inside. They led deeper. I followed them. I don't remember deciding to. I just did, step by step, matching them without realizing it. They went straight down the aisle, toward the arch, same as before. But now, there were more of them. Not just one set, several, overlapping, crossing, like someone had walked the same path again. And again, and again, my chest tightened, because suddenly, it didn't feel like I was following something. It felt like I was stepping into something that had already happened, repeatedly. The air shifted, just slightly, and then I heard it, a whisper. Not behind me, not in front, close, too close. Don't. I froze, every muscle locked. Look, the voice was weak, broken, but familiar. Her. I swallowed slowly. Emily, I said. My voice didn't sound like mine. Too quiet, too careful. No answer, just silence again. But the feeling didn't go away. It stayed right there, next to me. I forced myself to keep walking. One step, then another, until I reached the front. The arch stood above me, decorated in white, now dull, faded. And beneath it, that same stain, darker in person, spread unevenly across the floor. I didn't get closer this time. I didn't need to, because something else caught my attention. The chairs, they weren't all facing forward anymore. Not like before. Now, several of them had turned, all at different angles, all facing the aisle, facing me. I stepped back, heart pounding, because there was no way, that had happened on its own. Another sound, a step, clear this time, not imagined, not distant. Right behind me, I turned, fast, and for a split second, I saw her again, closer this time, not across the room, just a few feet away. Her head tilted the same way, her hair hanging over part of her face. But now I could see more. Her eyes. They weren't focused. Not completely, like she was trying to look at me, but something else was pulling her attention. Her lips moved slightly. You came back. The words barely formed. like she wasn't used to speaking anymore. "I'm trying to help," I said. I don't know why I said that. It just came out. Her expression changed. Not relief, not fear. Something in between. "You shouldn't." And then she stopped. Her body stiffened. Like something inside her had just noticed something. Slowly, very slowly, her head turned, not toward me, but past me, toward the aisle. My stomach dropped, because I hadn't heard anything, but she had. And then, without warning, she took a step back, not walking, not turning, just sliding, like her body wasn't fully in control anymore. And her voice, when she spoke again, it wasn't the same. You looked away. My blood ran cold, because I hadn't. I was looking right at her. Unless it didn't mean me, unless it meant before. The road, the headlights, that 1 second, and when I turned, the air shifted violently. The temperature dropped, and suddenly the chairs moved, all at once. A sharp scraping sound echoed through the hall as they turned, facing the aisle completely now, perfectly aligned, like an audience, watching, waiting. I couldn't breathe. And then, from the far end of the aisle, something moved. Not her, something else. Tall, wrong, unsteady, and walking toward me, step by step. I don't remember leaving the hall, not clearly. I remember the movement, the shape at the end of the aisle, the way it walked, like it was still learning how to use a body. And then, nothing. The next thing I remember, I was outside, standing near the fence, breathing like I had just run for miles. My hands shaking so badly I had to grab onto the metal just to steady myself. I don't know how long I had been in there. Minutes, maybe longer. It didn't feel like time worked the same inside that place. The sun was lower now, late afternoon. Everything looked normal again, too normal. Like the building behind me hadn't just changed. That's when I realized I was still holding the phone, the cracked one. The one I picked up inside. I stared at it for a long time before doing anything, because part of me didn't want to turn it on again. Didn't want to see another message. Didn't want confirmation that what I saw was real, but I pressed the screen anyway. It flickered, dim, barely functioning. But this time, it didn't show a message. It unlocked. No passcode, no hesitation, just opened. The home screen was simple, almost empty. Only a few apps, messages, photos, voice memos. My chest tightened, because now, this wasn't just something I saw. This was hers, Emily's. I hesitated over the screen, then tapped voice memos. There were several recordings, all dated. Most of them were short, a few seconds, a minute at most, but one stood out. Day before, 11:48 p.m. My throat went dry. I pressed play. At first, nothing, just silence. Then, breathing. Uneven, shaky, and then her voice. Okay, just talk, just say it out loud. She sounded different, not like the whisper I heard, not like the voice in the hall. Alive, but barely holding it together. If I say it, it becomes real, that's what he wants. A pause. Long. No, that's not right. It doesn't want anything, it just does. Her breathing got faster. It copies. My grip tightened on the phone. That's what it does. It copies people, small things first. Voices, expressions, a faint sound in the background, like a floorboard creaking. She stopped talking immediately. No. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "You're not supposed to be here." Silence. Then, another voice. Her voice, but not from the phone, from the recording. Behind her, "You're not supposed to be here." My chest tightened. It repeated her. Exactly. Same tone. Same pacing, same breath. The first voice, her real voice, shook. You see, it's doing it again. A soft step. Don't look at it. Don't look directly at it. Another step, closer. It gets stronger when you look. The second voice spoke again. Closer, now. It gets stronger when you look. Perfectly matched. A delay, half a second, like an echo that learned too quickly. I felt something cold run down my spine. "I think it needs me to notice it," she whispered. Like it can't fully be unless the recording cut. Just like that, I stared at the screen, waiting, hoping it would continue, but it didn't. I scrolled, hands trembling. There were more. Another file. Day before, 2:03 a.m. I pressed it. This one started louder, more chaotic, running Her breathing was heavy, fast. It's not him. It's not him. It's not him. A door slammed somewhere. He's downstairs, I can hear him, but he's here too. My stomach dropped. I asked him something only he would know. Her voice cracked, and it answered wrong. A pause. But it didn't care. That line hit harder than anything else. Not fear, not confusion, just acceptance. It just watched me. A slow creak echoed through the recording. A door opening. Don't come in. Her voice broke completely now. Please don't come in. Another step. Then, that second voice again. Please don't come in. Closer. Too close. The same delay. Half a second. Perfect imitation, but empty. The recording distorted for a moment. A sharp crack, then silence. I lowered the phone slowly, because now it made sense. Not all of it, but enough. It didn't chase her. Not the way I thought. It didn't hunt her. Didn't stalk her. It stayed near. Watched. Learned. And then it replaced, piece by piece, voice, memory, presence, until there was no difference left. Until even she couldn't tell what was real anymore. My hands started shaking again, because suddenly I remembered something from the hall. The way she moved, the way her voice changed, the way she said, "You looked away." I looked back down at the phone, at the recordings, at the timestamps, and then I noticed something I hadn't seen before. One last file. No date, no time, just a name. If you find this, I didn't want to press it. Every instinct told me not to, but I did anyway. The audio started immediately. No breathing, no movement, just her voice. Clear. Come. If you're listening to this, it means it worked. A pause. Or it didn't. My chest tightened. I don't know which version of me is still here. A longer pause this time. But if you saw me on the road, my heart stopped. Don't stop. Silence. Then, very quietly, because if you stopped, a slight shift in her tone, almost unnoticeable, but wrong. It means it saw you too. The recording ended. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Didn't think. Because now, there was only one question left. Not what happened to her. Not what that thing was, but something much worse. Why did it let me go? And as that thought settled in, I heard it again. Behind me, a voice. Soft. Familiar. You listened. I closed my eyes slowly. Because this time, I already knew what I was going to see. When I turned around, I didn't turn around. Not this time. Because I already knew what was behind me. Or at least, I knew what it wanted me to think was behind me. You listened. The voice was soft. Too soft. Close enough that I could feel it more than hear it. Right behind my shoulder. Every instinct I had was screaming to react. To spin around. To confirm it. To see it. But the recording, her voice, echoed in my head. Don't look directly at it. It gets stronger when you look. So I didn't. Instead, I stared straight ahead, at the fence, at the ribbons, at anything that wasn't behind me. My breathing slowed, forced, controlled. You weren't supposed to come back. The voice again, same tone, same rhythm, but something was off. It wasn't copying me, it was copying her. I swallowed. Emily, I said quietly. Silence. Then, a slight shift, like something adjusting its stance. You shouldn't have come back. That wasn't what I said. That wasn't what she said either. It was new, and that made it worse, because it meant it wasn't just copying anymore. It was learning. I stepped forward slowly, away from the voice, toward the path. Don't leave. My chest tightened, because for a second, just a second, that sounded real, like her, like something trapped, but I didn't stop. Because I remembered the last recording. If you saw me on the road, don't stop. And I had already made that mistake once. I wasn't making it again. I kept walking, didn't look back, didn't respond, didn't give it anything to use. The voice followed, not moving, not stepping, just there, keeping the same distance behind me. You left me there. That one hit harder, because it was true. I had left. I had driven away. You saw me. My hands clenched. You could have helped me. I shut my eyes for a second, because now, it wasn't just copying her. It was using her voice, her words, but twisting them, turning them into something else, something that made me want to turn around, to respond, to look. I opened my eyes again, kept walking. I'm not looking, I said under my breath. Not to it, To myself, the voice stopped. Completely. No sound. No presence. Just silence. For a moment, I thought it was over. That may be, just maybe, it had given up. And then I heard something in front of me. A step. I froze, because that wasn't possible. Slowly, very slowly, I lifted my head, and there, at the end of the path, stood the road. And in the middle of it, someone in white. My chest tightened instantly. The same dress, the same posture, the same slight tilt of the head. But I hadn't looked back. I hadn't given it anything. Somehow, you looked away. The voice came again, but this time, it wasn't behind me. It was coming from the road, from her. My mind raced, trying to understand, trying to catch up. And then it hit me. It didn't matter where I looked, only that, at some point. I didn't. That 1 second last night, when I turned toward the headlights, that was enough. It had already happened. I had already given it what it needed, a step forward. She moved, closer, not walking, not running, just there, closer than before. My heart started pounding again, because now there was no avoiding it. No trick, no rule to follow. It had already attached itself. He found me again. The words came from her lips, but the voice wasn't hers anymore. It was layered. The voice wasn't hers anymore. It was layered, like two sounds trying to exist in the same place. One human. One. Not... I stepped back instinctively, and that's when I saw it. Not her. Behind her, something else. Taller. Darker. Standing just slightly out of sync, like a shadow that didn't match the body. It moved a fraction of a second after she did. Delayed. Learning. My stomach dropped, because I understood now. It never became someone instantly. It practiced, it watched, it repeated, until it got it right. And she had been its first full attempt. Come back. Her voice again. Softer, almost pleading, but now, I could hear it. The second layer underneath, the wrongness, the thing that didn't belong. I shook my head slowly. No. The word came out stronger than I expected. For the first time, it didn't respond immediately. It just watched, both of them, her, and whatever was behind her, perfectly still. And then they both tilted their heads at the exact same time, in the exact same way, and spoke together. You already came back. The world felt like it dropped out from under me, because that's when I realized this wasn't happening now. Not really. This was something else, something repeating, something that had already happened, and was happening again, and again, and again. The crash. It wasn't random. It wasn't sudden. It was the end of a pattern, a loop, and she never left that road. She just kept meeting it, over and over. And now, I was part of it too. The headlights appeared again. Behind me, same as last night. Same distance, same speed, everything, exactly the same. Don't turn, her voice, faint, fighting through the other one. This is where it happens. My hand started shaking because I knew what came next. I had already lived it. The moment, the choice. The second I slowed down, and this time, I understood something I didn't before. That car behind me, the one with the headlights, it wasn't just passing through. It wasn't random. It was part of it, part of the pattern, part of the thing that made sure no one ever really left. The light grew brighter, blinding, and her figure in front of me didn't move, didn't react, just stood there, waiting for me to make the same decision again. I didn't stop. That's the only difference. The only thing I changed, the headlights behind me grew brighter, closer, exactly like before. And she was still there, standing in the middle of the road, waiting. Every part of me wanted to slow down, to roll the window down, to ask the same question. Are you okay? But I didn't. I pressed the gas. The engine roared louder than it had the night before. The car pushed forward, faster, closer to her. For a split second, I thought I was going to hit her, but I didn't. Because right before impact, she wasn't there anymore. Not fading, not moving, just gone. And I drove straight through the space where she had been. The headlights behind me surged forward, closing the distance too fast. And for the first time, I looked at them. I know I shouldn't have. I know that now, but I did. In the rearview mirror, I saw the car clearly. Same one from before, same position, same speed. But there was something wrong. There was no driver. My chest tightened, my hands locked on the wheel. Because of the car, it wasn't just following me, it was matching me. Every movement, every shift, every slight turn of the wheel, perfectly. Like a reflection, you learned. The voice came again, but this time, it wasn't outside, it was inside the car. I froze. You didn't stop this time. My breathing turned shallow, because I hadn't opened the door, hadn't let anything in. So how? That's good. The voice moved from the back seat, closer. That means you understand now. I didn't look. I couldn't, because I already knew. If I turned, I'd see something sitting there, something that wasn't there before. She didn't understand. The tone shifted slightly, less like her, more like something trying to sound like her. She kept looking. A pause. She kept stopping. My grip tightened, because now, it wasn't just telling me, it was explaining. So I stayed. The words came slower. I learned her. A cold wave passed through me. And then I became her. My vision blurred for a second, because that was it. That was the truth she never got to finish saying. It doesn't chase. It doesn't attack. It replaces. You didn't stop. The voice again. Though you're harder. Harder. The word didn't make sense. Not yet. But you still looked. My heart skipped, because I had in the mirror. So now, silence. Long. Heavy. No, I know you too. The car jerked slightly. Not from me. From something else. The wheel shifted just a little under my hands, like someone else had touched it. I pulled it back immediately. No, I said, out loud, firm. I'm not part of this. Silence. Then, a sound. Soft. Almost like a breath. Right next to my ear. You already are. I slammed the brakes. The car skidded slightly, tires scraping against the asphalt, before coming to a complete stop. Everything went quiet. Too quiet. No wind. No engine. No movement. Just silence. I sat there, hands shaking, breathing uneven. And then, slowly, I looked up. The road ahead was empty. No bride. No figure. No shadow. Nothing. I turned my head, carefully, toward the passenger seat. Empty. Back seat. Empty. The rearview mirror. Nothing behind me. The headlights. Gone. It was over. At least, that's what it felt like. I stayed there for a long time. Not moving. Not thinking. Just waiting. But nothing happened. No voice. No movement. No presence. Eventually, I started the car again. And I drove. Didn't stop. Didn't look back. I left that road behind me, or at least, I thought I did. The next day, I woke up in my own bed. Everything normal. Phone charging beside me. Messages. Notifications. Life continuing like nothing had happened. For a moment, I convinced myself it was over. That I had broken whatever it was. Escaped it, until I went to the bathroom. And looked in the mirror. At first, everything seemed fine. My reflection looked back at me. Normal. Unchanged. But then, I blinked. And for just a fraction of a second, it didn't. My stomach dropped. Because it wasn't delayed. Not lagging. It just did something I didn't. Something small. Something almost unnoticeable. It tilted its head. Slightly. To the side. The same way she did. I froze. Didn't move. Didn't breathe. And slowly, very slowly, my reflection straightened again, perfectly matching me, like nothing had happened. I stepped back, heart pounding, trying to explain it, trying to rationalize it. But deep down, I already knew. It didn't need the road anymore. It didn't need the dress. It didn't need her. Because now, it had something new. Someone new. And as that thought settled in, my phone buzzed. A message. Unknown number. I stared at it for a long time before opening it. Then, slowly, I did. There was no text, just a photo, taken at night, on a road, empty, except for one thing, a figure in the distance, standing still, wearing white. And when I zoomed in, my hand started shaking, because the face wasn't hers anymore. It was mine. I didn't sleep after that. Not properly. Not at all, really. I just sat there with a phone in my hand, watching the screen go dark and then lighting it again. Like, if I kept it awake, it wouldn't change anything else. But things don't stay still like that. Not anymore. The photo stayed burned into my mind. Not just the figure, not just the road, but the certainty of it. the face looking back at me in the distance. Mine, or something wearing it. By morning, I told myself I had to go somewhere normal. People, noise, anything that didn't feel like silence had weight to it. I ended up at a small cafe near the edge of town. Nothing special, just somewhere with voices in the background so I didn't have to think too much. I sat in the corner, didn't order anything, just watched. That's when I noticed it. Small things first. Always small things first. The waiter paused when he walked past my table, just a fraction too long, like he was trying to remember something. Then he smiled, too slowly, too carefully. "Everything okay?" he asked. Normal words, wrong delivery, like he was reading them from somewhere. "Yeah," I said automatically, but I wasn't looking at him anymore, because behind him, in the reflection of the window, I saw someone sitting at my table. My chair was empty, physically empty, but the reflection wasn't. Something was there, sitting still, facing forward, not moving. I turned fast. Nothing. Just the empty seat, the coffee machine humming. Normal life continuing like nothing was wrong. I stood up, left the cafe. No explanation, no goodbye. Outside, the air felt heavier than it should have. Not weather heavy, something else. Like attention, like being noticed without seeing who was looking. I walked, not because I knew where I was going, but because stopping felt worse. And then I saw the road. Not the same one, but it didn't matter anymore. They all felt connected now, like they were different sections of the same place. The moment I stepped onto it, I felt it immediately. That shift, that recognition, not from me, from it. The wind stopped, just for a second, completely. No movement, no sound. And then a voice behind me. Soft, familiar. "You keep moving." I didn't turn. That's new. My breathing slowed. Not from calm, from understanding. It wasn't chasing anymore. It wasn't following. It was observing, learning the pattern I had become. I kept walking, step by step, letting it talk, not giving it the reaction it wanted or needed. "You're not like her." That made my stomach tighten. She stopped. A pause. "You don't stop." The words weren't anger, not curiosity, something closer to evaluation. Like I was being tested. I stopped walking. Just once, on purpose. Silence immediately returned, like it was waiting for something. I looked down at the road. Empty. Still. And I finally asked it, not loud, not emotional, just direct. "What are you?" Silence. Longer than before. And then the voice answered, but it didn't come from behind me. It didn't come from anywhere specific. It came from everything around me at once. "I'm what stays." A cold feeling spread through my chest when you don't look long enough to know the difference. The wind didn't return. The world didn't shift. Nothing dramatic happened. That's what made it worse. It didn't need theatrics. It already had time. I started walking again, but slower now, because I understood something I didn't before. It wasn't trying to scare me anymore. It was finishing something. "You saw her," the voice continued, calm now, almost gentle, "and you kept looking away." My throat went dry. "That's how I learned you." I stopped again, and for the first time, I realized something terrifying. It never needed to kill her. It didn't need to drag her away. It didn't need violence. It just needed continuity, a place to exist in repetition, a moment where attention broke, where someone looked away at the wrong time. And everything after that was just echo. I took a breath. Slow, controlled. "So what now?" I asked. Silence. Then, closer. Not physically, but conceptually, like it was thinking through me instead of at me. "Now you continue." My hands went cold, until someone else looks away. The road beneath my feet felt suddenly unstable, not shaking, not moving, just less real, like it was no longer sure it needed to stay solid. I stepped back, slowly, and that's when I saw it, at the far end of the road. A car, headlights on, waiting. Exactly like before, exactly like every time, but I wasn't in it this time. Someone else was. A driver, a silhouette, unaware, moving toward this moment, toward the same point, toward the same mistake. My chest tightened, because I understood. It didn't end with me. It never ended with me. It just passed through me. "Don't stop them," the voice said softly, almost like advice. I stared at the approaching car, feeling something worse than fear now. Something heavier, responsibility without control. And I realized the worst part wasn't what I had seen. It was that I now understood how easy it was, how small the moment was, how normal everything looked right before it changed. A glance, a turn of the head, a second of not paying attention. That was all it ever needed. The car passed closer, headlights washing over me. For a moment, I thought I saw her again in the reflection, sitting in the passenger seat, watching, waiting. But when I blinked, it was gone. And the voice, for the first time, didn't speak, not because it left, but because it didn't need to anymore. I already understood it. I stood there for a long time after the car passed, watching the road, waiting for something that never came. No ending, no resolution, no final moment of escape, just continuation. Because some things don't end when they're over. They end when someone else looks away.